You know, we all wish for a little more luck in our lives, but what if it wasn't something you're just born with? What if you could actually get it? I mean, perfect, unbeatable luck. And what if the price for that luck was more terrifying than anything you could possibly imagine? We're about to dive into a story about a bargain that promises you everything, but demands so much more. So picture this, a high-end casino. The air is just thick with tension. And at the center of it all is a guy known only as Lucky. When he says this, it's not a boast. It's a chilling statement of fact. He's at the final table, and his confidence is just so absolute, it's almost unnatural. And this is what's on the line. 20 lakh. I mean, that's a sum of money that can change your entire life in a single hand of cards. For one man at the table, it's his last hope. For the other, it feels like just another Tuesday. The stakes really couldn't be any higher. Okay, so here we are. It's the climax of the game. Every single eye in the room is just glued to the two guys left. On one side, you have a man named Gaurav, and he is just sweating bullets under the lights. And right across from him is the unnervingly calm man who calls himself Lucky. You can practically feel the psychological war happening at that table. On one side, you've got the sheer terror in Gaurav's eyes. You can tell he's gambling away his entire life. And then there's Lucky, who honestly looks like he's already seen the future and is just kind of bored waiting for the rest of us to catch up. And just like that, Gaurav can't take the pressure anymore. He folds. And then, just to twist the knife, Lucky casually flips his cards over. 3 aces. He didn't just win, he absolutely destroyed him. Gaurav is wiped out, completely broken by a guy who seemed to know the outcome before a single card was even dealt. So later that night, a completely defeated Gaurav, he actually tracks down Lucky. He's begging him, "What's your secret?" I mean, he's lost everything. His desperation has made him willing to do absolutely anything to understand how a person can be so impossibly, unbelievably lucky. And this is where the story takes a sharp turn into something way, way darker. Lucky shares this worldview that just completely dismisses the idea of earning your success. He says that all that effort, all that hard work, it's just a meaningless illusion. It's a philosophy that really preys on desperate people. Lucky basically lays out a choice for him. On one hand, you have mehnat, which is more than just hard work. It's the righteous path, the path of sweat and toil. And on the other hand, there's a shortcut. Ajeeb shaktiyan, strange, forbidden powers that operate completely outside the natural order of things. So what's the price of admission for these dark powers? It's not money, it's not skill, it's not even intelligence. It's something much more fundamental. It's sahas, or courage. Pure, raw nerve, the ability to face your absolute deepest fears and not even flinch. And Gaurav, with nothing left to lose, he agrees on the spot. So Lucky agrees to share his secret, but the instructions he gives Gaurav, they are the stuff of nightmares. This is not some card trick or, a mental strategy. This is a full-on descent into absolute horror. Just look at this task. It is cold, it's methodical, and it's deeply, deeply disturbing. Each one of these steps is designed to test Gaurav's courage to its breaking point, demanding this act of complete and utter desecration. The promise is infinite luck, but the path to get there is straight through a grave. Now, before he sends him off, Lucky hands Gaurav a sealed letter, and he has one final cryptic instruction. Only read this when the right time comes. As if the night wasn't terrifying enough, right? This just adds this whole other layer of dread. So after this horrific night of, digging and hammering, Gaurav just blacks out. He wakes up in his own bed, drenched in sweat, and he thinks it was all just a terrible, vivid nightmare. But then he hears a voice inside his own mind that isn't his. The voice calls him by his new name. The ritual, it wasn't a dream. It was very, very real, and it worked. He is now lucky. And immediately the true price is revealed. See, this isn't a deal, it's an infection. The voice belongs to this parasitic entity that's going to grant him perfect luck, sure, but that luck isn't free. It's fueled by his very life force, a constant tax that he has to pay in his own blood. And then the true horror of this bargain becomes crystal clear. This isn't a gift, it's a curse. And that curse has to be passed on. His new purpose in life is to find another desperate soul to become the entity's next host. The victim now has to become the predator. In his shock and horror, Gaurav remembers the letter. His hands shaking, he pulls it from his pocket. And as he reads it, the final, horrifying piece of this whole puzzle just clicks right into place. The letter just lays out the cold mechanics of this demonic contract. The perfect luck? It's real, but so is the parasite, and so is the grim responsibility of finding someone to take your place, to free yourself by damning somebody else. And the note, it's signed by the previous Lucky. He wasn't some master of the dark arts, he was just another victim who had finally found his own escape. He's thanking Gaurav for taking his place, confirming that this is not a one-time thing, but a vicious, repeating cycle of desperation and damnation. And so we end right where we began, at a casino table with a new game and new stakes. But this time it's Gaurav speaking these words, his eyes filled with that same unsettling confidence. He's the predator now, looking for his replacement. It leaves you with a really chilling question, doesn't it? What is the real cost of a life without risk? And is perfect luck a gift, or is it the most terrifying prison of all?